Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be covering the angles, lines of sight, jump spots and wallbang spots on Red Card, one of the competitive maps in Black Ops 6 ranked play, playing the CDL in Search and Destroy as well as Hardpoint, and it's a big map. There's going to be multiple angles and lines of sight that are going to be unpredictable and you could use when you are playing on Red Card itself. However, we're going to be focusing on the useful ones that I've been able to use, and I've been lucky enough to get to Iridescent on both Season 1, Season 2, and hopefully Season 3 when we get to the end of it. And I've been using the lines of sight, jump spots, creddy angles that I am going to be showing you in today's video. This is a really nice way to just level up your gameplay easily. You don't need to get better at shooting. You don't need to get better at movement or spawn knowledge. This is really simple angles that you can copy when you next play Red Card. Let me know what map you want me to do next. I've already done a good few, so make sure you check out the playlist below if this is your first of this sort of video. And we're going to start off in the garage. So, and obviously subscribe if you want more tips and tricks surrounding Black Ops 6 ranked play. So the garage is a pretty useless area of the map. Not much happens here. There's a one spawn point down here for P5 and P3, but other than that, there's not really much action down here, so I'm not going to focus too much. What I do want to highlight though is that obviously you can see through all of these car windows, so if you're ever pushing out of an objective and you think an enemy is nearby, it's always worth checking through here first and then challenge once you know their position. This sort of happens on these ones as well, so if you know there's an enemy coming around the left hand side here, you can look through here and then challenge out really easily, or you can just shoot through the windows themselves if you want to. Now, a really nice way you can spawn trap enemies in the back is if you have control of this outside when P3 is live, which is in this area right here, and to hold them in the back, what's really ideal is to have, as I say, control of this left hand side, this outside area here, because they will just be trapped in the garage and they'll have to find a way to get out. Now, a really nice way they have to go, if we look at the minimap here, one way they can get out of the garage is around the street, up the escalators, or into P3 itself. Obviously, they could take a really long route through the football stadium itself and the seats. However, it's going to take a little bit of a long time, but a really nice way you can watch pretty much all of the above is by being in this position. So being here allows you to pick off enemies who are coming from this side. So if they're spawned in garage, instead of just jumping on the hill itself and helping the teammates on the hill, sit here, pick off any people coming off the coming through the right. You can also pick off any people who decide to go around the garage and come out of the escalators and try and pinch through these windows. You've got this nice line of sight, and at the end of the day, you've got a nice line of sight into the actual hill itself. Although it's mainly your job here to make sure that enemies can't get anywhere near other than from the front, so you can rely on other teammates to just defend the front of the hill itself. But here's a nice way just to watch the left flank and right flank really easily. And if you crouch, you can really control as much of your body as you would like to visible. And if you lay down here, you've got a nice little line of sight towards the left if that's all you want to do. Obviously, watching the right hand side, you can be done from multiple positions. You can do it from the top of this car. Enemies are going to literally run out of this area here, and you're going to be able to beam them. If you crouch, you're hidden. If you stand, you're not. And you can do the same thing with this car, of course, as well. Now, what's something I really want to highlight here is there are a lot of corners on this hill, and oftentimes when you're spawning out here, which is what you should try and do, enemies love to sit in this corner like so. So we're going to throw a trophy down just to replicate a person so you can see the wallbang spot actually does work. And what you want to try and do is get yourself over to this position here. So what's nice to do, you can jump and see if someone's there. What you can actually do is just wallbang really easily. So as soon as you get that info, whether you're jiggle peekle or like so, or you just believe someone's in that corner, mark it, wallbang it, and as you can just see what I did to the trophy, you're going to be able to do a real person once they're in that position. So that's a really nice way just to get a free kill. They're probably going to think you're cheating, and they're probably going to report you, but the game's going to find you clean and you're going to be absolutely fine. But that's going to be really a nice way to break the hill, because this is a horrible corner. They could have people here defending them, you know, and just sliding across to that hedge, wallbanging the people here is a really nice way to break the hill if they are in that corner. Obviously, if they're in here, you've just got to challenge them and hope your subs on your team can clear that out nice and easily. Now, sometimes when you're spawning over here and P4 is live, which is the one in the stage, jumping up onto here, which can be done just by jumping on the bin and up to like this, is a really nice way to just use this slanted wall to get a little bit of an angle on anyone who might be at the top of the objective. But of course, as you are probably all aware of, people love to be underneath. And you're probably also very much aware that you can wallbang the entire thing. So we're just going to show you a couple of examples of corners where people sit, whether it's in this close corner like so, completely wallbangable from both sides. It's a little bit harder. You don't want to be shooting the stairs, but if you shoot between the steps, you should be absolutely fine. You can use this as a bit of a head glitch and defense from there. If they are in the back corner, obviously you can do the exact same, but even if they're in this corner all the way over here, Again, we're going to use a trophy just to imitate a player. You can be all the way back here and shoot. So if you believe someone's in the hill and you've cleared the top, just wall bang through. But just bear in mind, if you're wall banging this right hand side, shoot between the steps, because any bullets that hit the actual stairs themselves are not going to go through. But it's a really nice way. You could literally get this close and just wall bang if you want to be extra cautious, but getting to this is often the tricky part to begin with. Now this is a really nice little trick if you're trying to get around this obstacle. Just like so, you can run around, and that's really useful. I don't think you can do it the other way. That's really useful if you somehow get trapped around here and you want to get round, whether that's on S&D or hardpoint. Really nice way to do it. As you can see by all the dead bodies, it requires a little bit of practice and a little bit of time in. So if you want to try that, if that's something you want to try and implement into your gameplay, I recommend getting in a private match and trying it yourself. You've really got to take a run up against this wall, jump, and then try and get as quickly over the other gate as you can. And you want to, instead of jumping over the blue, you want to jump over this bit here, as you just saw I did. Slow down what I did the way it works, but it is tight, and I would recommend practicing that, of course. Otherwise you're just going to end up dying and giving away your life, especially if it's S&D. It's going to be a bit embarrassing if you've got people watching you. Now, when obviously it goes without saying that you can shoot through here just as easily as you can at any other side. I probably don't need to prove to you that. But let's say you've got somebody on this nice little head glitch like so, and you're trying to get that position in. You can't quite break. And let's say you're trying to rotate to P4, or they're there on a head glitch. A nice way to check if they are there is by just coming up here, double jumping like so, and you can check if anyone's there. Once you locate their position, this is completely wall bangable. Actually, every single one of these great doors, obviously that's a real door, is completely wall bangable. So if you find yourself in a position where enemies are somewhere out here and you're in there, try and wall bang, especially if you make them weak. A really common spot for people to be is here when they're challenging P1. They like to come up to these stairs and make sure they clear the corners. And let's say you are in the corner and you notice someone's about to challenge you, you can just come outside and just wall bang them like so. They're, as I say, looks sus, but it's doable. And if you know people are there and you know people are there just waiting to kill you, you can just wall bang them first, and they're probably going to be very, very shocked, but it's a really effective way. And you can obviously do the same here through this one. And yeah, just bear in mind, every single one of these grates is wall bangable, so use it. Absolutely, it can benefit you hugely. Now, another place we're going to be looking at is around P2. Now, whilst there's not much really happening on P2, a really nice place to be able to get a nice line of sight of is here, where you can check the spawn. If you know, checking if they're spawning there. This is a nice little area. And what's even nicer is you can do that jump, obviously. What's even nicer is if you come all the way up to here and you know you've got teammates blocking the spawn behind you and P2's active, if you move up all the way to this red block on the wall, you can actually see all the way into their spawn. And you can guarantee that when you're here, they're going to be spawning sort of in the trophy room. You can guarantee that you've got this left-hand side covered, so your teammates can either watch this window next to you or they can watch the flank. But this is a really nice line of sight just to see into the spawn. Whether it's S&D, again, just useful to know. Now, P2 itself, there are a few corners people love to sit. That's one of them. Unfortunately, this isn't wall bangable completely, but there are areas in which you can wall bang it. Obviously, when you make it round to here, you can shoot through this. Really, really easy. It's almost like it's not there. What is interesting, however, is when people are in this corner. Now, this is a little bit harder to kill them sometimes because you can't quite get the angle on them. Let's say they're in that corner and you manage to either slide across from here, or when you are coming from this area, you can't quite get them, come across, you can actually wall bang them through this door. You can't shoot through the blue bit, but the door you can absolutely shoot through, and as you can see, it was really, really quick. Oh, didn't mean to flash. But a similar thing that can occur is if someone's just hiding behind here, and like they're just being a little bit annoying and you can't quite kill them, you can do the exact same wall bang through to there. So if you know someone's on the hill and you sort of get an idea of where they're going to be, wall bang this wall, wall bang this door if you're in this position, and you're probably going to get a free kill. What's also quite worth bearing in mind is if someone is behind here, you can wall bang any of this. Of course, you can wall bang any of that. So if you get to here, wall bang it, wall bang behind it, you know, be annoying, use those wall bangs and be unpredictable to your enemy. Now, of course, there is a bomb site in this area. It's about here. So I'm going to be showing you a couple of areas in which you can use this bomb site spot to your advantage. Now, obviously, if you find yourself planting here, a couple of nice lines of sights you can approach this from. Once you plant, you come all the way back, all the way back, all the way back, all the way back, and check bomb from over here, which is really nice. What is nice, when you plant bomb for this left-hand side here, you can just sit here and see if enemies cross from the right to the left. As long as they don't come up to your right, you're probably absolutely safe. But let's say you know the enemies are in the back somewhere, you're here, you get bombed down, you run all the way back. All you have to do is get information from them crossing in front of you to get to the bomb, and you should be able to kill them. But you can see from all the way back here, you can see the bomb, you can check it, peek, and clear the bomb site just as easily. You can also wallbang out, just like so. If you know they're there, you can sit in that corner and just wallbang through. Now, another area people like to plant the bomb for is the other side of the bomb, which can be about here. And there are a couple of areas where this is going to be really nice and beneficial to you. First things first is that, let's say you're behind here somewhere, and you think they're defusing it. This is actually completely wallbangable. Again, really easy to shoot through, but a really nice way just to get some free kills. So sometimes you find yourself a little bit stuck in this area. You quite need to check if they're defusing. Instead of swinging out, you can just wallbang like I just did. You can do the same if you are on the forklift, of course. That's a really nice, easy one. Simple wallbang, just like so. And obviously this is wallbangable as well, so that enables you to do some really nice positions from here. So let's say you're planting, obviously you want to make sure where you can see it from. And when you're planting, let's say you're planting here, you've got bomb down and you're thinking, okay, this is the sort of position you want to plant it for. And as you can see it from all the way over there. And that's the easiest way to know some really useful bomb plant spots, is by doing exactly that. You can come back all the way over here, come out, wallbang, kill anyone defusing, easy peasy. That's a real nice spot. Now I've got one more for you. Obviously you could keep going, you could be really creative with this. So I just said maybe get in a private match yourself if you want to. Let's say you plant bomb for here, and you want to find yourself in a really cruddy position where you know you're last alive. And let's say you get to a point where you're trying to watch the enemy's flank and you find yourself up here. All of these panels are actually completely wallbangable, I believe. There they are. Just got to find which one you can see it from. But again, even if you plant here, you've got a little gap there where you can see them really easily. And that's a nice spot to be able to defend the bomb from. Now, being around this sort of P1 area, as I say, people love to lay in these corners and sit positioning, but it's fairly obvious. What you can do is jump up to this edge. You will be on the objective, and what that enables you to do is quickly sneak out and back into the hill. Like, just as easy as that. And being here is just a little bit of obviously this is such an open objective. Being here is really obvious. If you're here, you've got the jump on people, they're probably going to be pre-aiming this up first anyway. And as long as you've got this right hand side controlled, this is a real nice, just a little bit of a different spot that enemies are probably not going to think about checking first. We're now going to move over towards B, S and D, which is over in here. And there's actually some really nice lines of sight you can use just to see if anyone's coming through here. So if you're trying to defend the bomb plant, or you're trying to, you're defending the enemies from planting the bomb, you can just make sure no one comes at the garage here. And then when you come out here, if you lay down and slide across, you've got a really nice heady using this here to see if anyone comes from upper. And actually, if you crawl up a little bit, you've got both the lower and upper bit secured. So the only danger is when you're this high up, your body is very much exposed. You're far better off when you're down here using this cover to your advantage. And yeah, there's so many little cruddy places you can use absolutely in here. One really nice one is just laying down here. Just like so. And as long as you're not wearing really bright trousers like my guy is at the moment, this is a real nice little cruddy angle where you can lay. People run past you, they don't see you there. It's disgusting. And I've seen people use and get caught out by it a considerable amount. Now, the bomb finds itself in this position. Let's say we plant for here. What's really nice is if you can somehow get out of that spawn, you can actually wallbang it from here, or you can just peek it, but you can just play your life, lay behind here, come out, beam someone off it, and then you can move on with your day with that round win in your back pocket. Moving on to P5 now, which is this space just here. This is actually, unfortunately, this side isn't wallbangable. So what you can do when you're coming up, let's say people are sort of sat in this position here. Really nice spot to be, by the way. When you're coming up and you know they're in that position, if you sit on the stairs and just wallbang through, it sort of has to be above this arm. As you can see, I've had failure trying to get it in the past. But if you shoot just above this arm, or this railing, sorry, absolutely easy peasy, you're going to get that kill without a doubt. Something else worth considering is that when the enemies are spawning in the garage, what's a really nice play to have is standing up here. You'll pick anyone off coming up at the eskies. You can crouch for a little bit more cover. This is a really nice way to pick enemies off guard who are coming out of the garage. And from here, you are sort of covered from the left as long as your teammates have got it. The camera's got your back. And then if you want, you can come out and overchow if you would like to. Maybe use the camera as a little bit of cover, but this is a nice way just to clear them off of the site. Hop on time if you need to. Hop back up if you would like to. Yeah, real nice angle that you can use to benefit you for P5. Obviously, I didn't mention this at first, but if you got bombed down in there, being in tickets is a really nice way where you can just check it, clear. All right, let's sit back in the corner and wait for an enemy to come. Check it, clear, so on and so forth. All right. Now, let's say you have to get across to the bomb site really quickly. You're running out of time. A really nice way to save time is just to run across, just like so. And that's a nice way if you're seconds off and you want to try and get that bomb plant and you want to try and get that bomb defused, whatever way it is, you're running across there is marginally quicker than going around. Okay, so just bear in mind that you can do that to save you a little bit of time to catch an enemy off guard. I don't know what it is, but you can run across that. You do have 3 seconds to do it, so just be very careful. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums up most of the useful ones, at least I use in ranked play. Obviously, when you're on S&D, checking this is really nice. You can use this as a head glitch to see if anyone's there, and obviously you want to make sure you're steadily pushing up rather than just being at the top like here. Use the stairs to alleviate or reduce the head glitch you've got, as something worth considering. And then finally, actually a really nice one is, remember when I was talking about the enemies spawning garage when P3 is active? Let's say you've got someone on the coach looking at the right hand side. What you can do if you want to get some info is lay down here, or even just crouch here, get info of anyone coming up Peskers. You can slide a bit and use this head glitch. But yeah, really nice way to just clean anyone who's coming up Peskers. They're going to be like, bloody hell, that is a disgusting angle. They're not going to expect it whatsoever, and it's going to pay off massively. But yeah, that really is it now. I'm pretty sure I've covered everything that at least I use. There's jump spots there to check areas if you'd like, but yeah, best thing I would advise you doing is get on the map, have a go at the stuff I've shown you myself, get used to the lines of sight and the jump spots and the out of map routes you have to take to be successful. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. That'll do for me. See you in the next video. Ciao for now.